online, and as you can see in the chat, we've got another match, our second match today in this year's Virtual Pool 4 World Straight Pool Championship. This is a second round match. These two players got a bye, and it's going to be Larry from the USA against Potman in a race to 200. We've actually got a match going on at the moment between Mark Shark and Gung Ho, which started at my dinner time. I was away getting dinner. Let's have a look at the latest score if we can see it. And Mark Shark has got a big lead. He's got about, well, not far off a 60-point lead, so he's looking good to go through. That match started just under an hour ago, and the match we're waiting on is going to start in about, well, how long? About 4 minutes time. And well, we had the match earlier on today between Mr. Bill and Ice Age, which eventually went ahead, and well, let's be honest, it wasn't very pretty. Bill was way ahead of his opponent, but Bill has got an awful lot of improvement to do. Made a fair few errors, most of them scratching errors, but struggling to find the pace at some times, letting it run a bit too much. But I'm sure he'll improve. He knows he has to, because well, the bad news for Bill is he's scheduled to play Albinario in round 2, and that is a big step up in comparison to his opponent today, so we'll look forward to that one. Race to 200, which it sounds a lot, but with the pockets being set on normal settings, it does encourage players to go for high runs. We haven't seen any high runs. There was nothing to mention in that match earlier on this afternoon, but we've got Larry against Potman. Both of them can pot balls. Larry will be the favourite. Potman needs to do his best to stick with Larry, and if he can, towards the end of the match, anything can happen. So we look forward to that. Both players are here. Larry's been in practicing. Potman's well, he's just arrived. I don't know whether he's gone in a room, or Larry's finished his practice as far as I can see, and he looks as about ready to go. So we've got 2 minutes. Another quick look. It's now 110 to 50 to Mark Shark. Other matches, let's work our way from the top down. We've got that match in round 2 that's now set up between Larry and Bill. We've got Johnny Laris, I think that's the name, against McClarkey, round 2. Snake Eyes to play Sylvia. That should be a good match. And well, Sylvia played Viking earlier on today, and she was way too strong. And Larry and Potman about to go head to head. And then we've got Keith against Mr. Fox. Should be a good match. And we've got Cobra waiting on the result of LS3 and 9 Black in that match. What date is that? Is that the 16th? Somebody's gonna have to remember what day is the 16th, because that's hopefully that is my day off, because 9 Black was asking, and if it is, that'll suit me. Fast Eddie to play Stubb, so that's going to be a tough match for Stubb to deal with in his well, not a first round match, second round match. And the Mark Shark match is underway, and the room for Larry and Potman should be up. In fact, they should probably be about. No, the room hasn't gone up yet. Well, it's gone beyond the top of the hour and the room has appeared. I need to change the cloth colour, I believe, and go to miscellaneous and go to blue. So good evening Stub, good evening Yamaguchi Taru. So Larry's in, raring to go. Potman's keeping him waiting, so they'll lag for the break, and of course in straight pool the utmost important shot in the game to start with is getting the lag and winning it and sticking your opponent in. So we've got a long road ahead in this tournament. Fair few matches. I hope to get quite a few of them, but obviously the problem now is we are rapidly approaching Christmas. People are busy doing things. Oh, I haven't got a clue who'll win this tournament. I think it's a bit of a lottery. I mean, it's going to be somebody that's a strong player, but there's so many factors can affect the outcome of the game, and it can all just be to do with the roll of a ball. Maybe in about round 4 I might have an idea, but certainly in no position to make any decision at the moment. I don't know who was who there, but the one in the top has won the lag, and Potman has won the lag, and he's going to invite Larry to have a go. Welcome everybody. Well, that's famous last word, Stub. Tourney is way too easy. I got this one in the bag. Now, you do realise, Stub, that the video, the live stream that I'm doing, records all the chat on the screen. So that will remain forever embellished in your mind that you've uttered those words. Mind you, you've uttered that in every other tournament that's come up, and you've failed to deliver. Yeah, Stubb can pop balls, no doubt about that, but can he get the right patterns to get that break ball? And the other thing is can he avoid scratching like Bill did today? These pockets are ready to swallow any loose ball that's running around the table. So Potman in with first shout, and straight away though he's gone pretty straight on this 9. Good evening, Mark. Having a quick look around the pack to see if there's anything that is set, and nothing really comes to mind here. So it looks as if Potman's not going to get a barrel load of points here. Well, this will be a brave shot. Is he going to go all out for the 15 into the top right hand corner, because he's going to spread these balls far and wide if he does, or is he going to keep it tight? I know what I'd be doing. That's a mistake, you see, and you've got to keep it feathered light touch to move that cue ball, because as soon as you nudge something in that pack, you're going to nudge something out. And that was a poor one from Potman. You've got to be just knocking the paint off that ball, just brushing it and no more, so that you don't get any seismic activity through that pack of balls. And I think he got away with it there. The 8 ball obviously didn't go out far enough, but you really do just have to skin that ball and not disturb anything. Even that shot there is a poor one, simply because you've got to get length on your safeties in straight pull. You must get to that bottom cushion, because that makes the next shot a lot more difficult for your opponent. Now what is Larry picking out here? He's called the 9 ball. Well, Larry's decided he's going all out for it, and well, he's got 2 or 3 balls in play. Good shot. And this is why you've got to keep things tight, especially against somebody of Larry's capabilities. You can't induce him into any shots. You must keep it really tight. Let him make mistakes, but by all means don't do anything to assist him. So Semi, I think that was because I read the chat there, reading Stub. So Potman, well, it can be aggressive, but I don't think that that's going to be the best ploy. Well, Larry's got too much angle in the 6, so much so that he can then run into the pack now. He would have probably preferred, well, he's gone across. Is that ball still going to go? I think he can see enough of it. But that 3 ball at the back of the bunch there is the one that will split everything. And that's where I thought he was wanting to be a couple of shots ago. And he's maybe going to have to pinch a wee bit to give him more angle to open them. Yeah, there wasn't a perfect angle there, but he'll take that. Now, is he going to leave the 14 ball as a break ball? Let's check my little doodle. Because if he's going to leave the 14 ball, he's either going to have to finish somewhere here to get the break into the pack, or he could end up there and get the break into the pack. So if he's made that decision, he must get that cue ball into this area here to make that break. That is going to be the case now, because I think that 7 ball's right on the bottom line of the pack anyway, so it would go into the head spot. Well, Larry is looking at the 14, so he's got to get up the table, get into that zone to give him the angle that he's going to have to get into this pack. And well, there you go. That's it again. Now with that one I talked about earlier on today, if a cue ball goes into the flat back pack of the triangle, it's a very strong likelihood it's going to run along that back of the pack into the corner pockets, and that's exactly what's happened here from Larry. And Potman's been given a gift, and he really should be punishing Larry here. I mean, there's loads of balls to pocket here without moving anything. He just needs to pick his way through them. So the first big mistake, unforced error from Larry. And the thing is, the shot I was talking about was not what Larry played. The shot I was talking about was potting the 14 and drawing off it into the pack directly, rather than going side rail, bottom rail and there, because that's the danger. The danger is that shot with a scratch. Now he's tied up a couple of balls. Now, let's have a look here. I think I've got my mouse going too fast. He's dead straight in this one, so he's opened him up, but now he's in trouble. Can he see the 15? Well, he's straight on the 4. This is a thing we talked about, well, I talked about earlier. Oops, wrong button. What the hell's happened here? What the hell did I press there? Wait a minute. That's better. Well, not if he's drawing into the pack off that ball going into the side pocket. I would say there's a much lower percentage of it scratching if he's drawn it into the pack, because the spin is drawing it in rather than going off that bottom rail and running along the back of the pack. But it's the shot I would have played is the one I described, rather than letting it run 2 rails. What was I talking about? I was talking about this earlier on. Even though the balls are spread open in the table, you can't have this attitude that it's okay, I'll just pot a ball, I'm bound to be on another ball. You have to play for that next ball. That's the way to run out a table. Now he's got the chance, I think, to clip these open. Yeah, it's not the shot you would generally play if you can help it, but obviously the way the balls were left sitting and one ball was in the triangle, Larry didn't really have much of a choice unless he made the decision to bring it up to the kitchen and try a break shot from there, which is again something you don't want to be doing. But you know, the side pocket break shots are a last resort basically, because you've no other option. You've always got to look at that ball that's adjacent to the diamond, to the triangle. What's he done here? Oh, well, don't anybody move, because that's going to drop in the hole. He's got a good chance of potting this 12 though. I mean, these pockets are generous enough to gather the ball. He just needs to get the line to the pocket. So nothing in the scores at the moment, and Potman has not judged that well at all. So in a way that's a failing, because he hasn't actually even got to run the table when you've got to be doing that on this sort of setup. It's still a bad miss considering the sort of margin of error that you've got to get that ball in the hole. And now Larry's got not a very inviting table. The 11 ball at the back of the pack would look to be the break shot, or the 7. But you know, Potman's really got to take advantage of any mistakes and actually score. If Larry is making 2 or 3 mistakes and you're not getting much out of it, then the problem's in your side of the court. If you can't actually put some of these balls away and get some points on the board. So this is the important one. Getting good on that 11 ball. And Larry's played a bad one. That is not a good shot. He's going to have to spin around the angles here. And the cue ball's running away again. And well, there is a dead set combo there. It's going to be maybe the 2 ball onto the 6 onto the 10 here. Or, well, I don't think he's any other choice, because there's nothing there. There's actually a 5-3 12 ball combo, although there's a distance between the three of them, but he can't get to it. Well, he's managed to squeeze the two in, and he's still got a shot. Well, 7 ball next in line, and then, well, more than likely going to be the 1, and get rid of those 2 balls in the bottom rail. Now, is he going to try and do something here, or is he just going to take his medicine and pot these balls? Yeah, because he could have tried to run that cue ball into them balls there, but he did the wise thing. And if he plays this right and he can get through onto the 4, he'll have an angle to move things if he pots the 4 in the right middle. But that 8 ball's in the way. But that would be an option for him. He could do that. Just get to, well, he's went the other way. He could have got the cue ball through to here, potted the 4 in there, and opened these up slightly. Remember that that's a combo there, that 10 ball, and he's probably already looked at that. And that's still a combo, nothing's moved. There's no combo the other side, but there's definitely a 3 ball combo there. That goes in every day of the week, that shot. That pocket is more than inviting, the 3 ball combo. So I'm assuming that Larry's checked that out. He could play the 10 ball at the back of the pack into the bottom left hand corner, but that's if he gets there. But if he doesn't, he can fall back on that option of the combo. And that's in a perfect position to play it right now if he wants. I don't see much that can go wrong with this. It looks pretty dead set to me. Right, now that's opened him up. See, it's difficult to see the triangle. If that was white lines, you would see it no problem. So the 15 ball is a candidate. Sorry, not the 15, the 13. 15's a bit wide and it's too far near the bottom of the pack. Of course, there is another issue at the fact that the 6 ball is blocking the path for the 13 ball, and Larry might try and he could try and nudge into something here. He's managed to lie behind the 6. Now, can he get up the table and get good on this 13? It's not exactly perfect to do that. I think he's worried he's gonna hit the 13, but the one way to do it is just to draw straight back. He has to get the pace right on it. Doesn't want to overdraw it and end up leaving himself straight. I looked at the setup earlier on. It's a 60-second shot clock, and there are 2 50-second extensions. That's just a wee tad short. He could have done with being further out just to make it a wee bit easier in the pot. but he's going to be moving balls around most certainly. The run goes to 19. I think one thing to bear in mind with that shot that Larry played there, and the question is, did he really need to hit that as hard? Because you've seen the cue balls running around the table again. You just need to do enough to get them open. There's always that risk when you put a lot of power in it that the cue ball's going to squirt away and go somewhere. And this, of course, has all come about because Potman ended up with the cue ball right on that edge there, and the ball that he was going for was there, and he cut it to there, and you've got all of this area here. So it was a bad miss, and it could be a severe price to pay here. Now at some point Larry is going to take whatever opportunity he can. He's got an opportunity here to nudge the 8, the 7 and the 9. And he's got another opportunity off the 6 to do the same. And this is why I keep saying that you have to deal with problem balls, because you'll end up running out of balls. And he's had 2 opportunities there to break those balls on the right hand side, and he hasn't done it. And let's see if he regrets it. It's going to be interesting to see, because I think Larry's failed with the opportunity twice there. Now, can he do it this time off the 4 ball? Probably not. Is he going to try it now? And that's the problem dealt with. Good evening, Keith. So the run goes to 28, I think that is 29. And is he going to have to play the combo? Yes, he is. So now there is a break ball. 4 ball is sitting perfect. And he's created a problem. This is why it's going to be so difficult to get a high run. Incidents like that where he's played the combo, but the combo ball has just squirted to lock up the 7, and he's going to have to immediately try and deal with that. And now the problem is that he had to deal with it with his break ball, so now he's going to have to rethink his strategy. And whenever these balls are on the rail, you have to get that cue ball in the middle of the table, and the 14 looks like probably the favourite because it's lower down towards the pack. So if he can get up to here and play that cut, he can bring the cue ball into the pack. So he's got to get up the table. Well, that hasn't helped, because that nudge on the middle jaw there has ruined it. He's going to have to put inside English in this to come across and into the opposite side. And how's his luck? I don't think his luck's doing any good for him here. That is unlucky. How about this for an ambitious shot? Look at that. There's a combo to keep the run going, and I think Larry's going to be enticed into it. A 4 ball combo curving into that corner pocket. He's given it a good look. Now, does he do the wise thing and protect his points, or does he do the greedy thing and go for the combo to keep the run going, or does he just tie Potman up and frustrate him? So that's the choice. And then it goes. Commentators, I spotted that before Larry did, by the way. I just like to mention that. 4-ball combo. I don't think he's got much else though. I think he's ended up in the same position. He's going to have to play another combo to keep this alive. Well, I don't think there's many matches on tomorrow apart from yours, which is going to be a forfeit. I'm taking odds-on bets that your opponent doesn't show semi-pro, because I've never seen them before. It's just somebody that's got excited because people have signed up for a big tournament and they probably haven't a clue what they're doing, and you'll never see them again. I'll be shocked if they turn up. So Larry's on a run of 35. He's working hard. And this is a totally different game to be watching than what we watched this afternoon, because that was not a good advert for the tournament. But now you've got somebody who's been at this game for as long, if not longer, than I have, and is thinking all the time of what they're doing, and that's how you do it. But he's going to have to do something else here, because there's not an awful lot more to be picked off. There's balls covering each other. He's only winding you up saying that. Can you imagine fining somebody and then somebody comes in and says, my mother died at the weekend, and I was otherwise engaged, something like that. That's never going to happen. Well, there's still a problem for Larry, but he's got the opportunity again just to nudge them open. Where's the cue ball going? No, he's found a pocket again. This is what's going to make this tournament interesting. I'm telling you, look at the amount of scratches that Bill did today by letting that cue ball run, or the ball's just running off another ball. These pockets are gaping holes to gather them up. And Larry's run ends on 40, and Potman once again comes to the table, and he's now chasing a deficit. Well, this is why you've got to get that cue ball in the right spot. If you get it in the right spot, you won't have any risk like that. And like I say, when people are trying to break the pack open on this table, you don't need to smack the balls all over the place. All you need in straight pool to keep a run going is one ball. As long as there's one ball shown and you can pot it, you can keep the run going. You don't have to smack everything all over the table, because you're only giving yourself more work to do. And the other thing, as we've seen, is that when you start smacking that cue ball, it's going to find somewhere into a hole at some point. And Larry's foul of it twice so far, and Potman couldn't take his chance at the first invitation, but he's really got to put something on the board here if he's going to stay in touch. And Potman's immediate problem is the break ball, because let's have a little closer look at what we've got here. We've got two balls in the triangle, and we've got a 4-ball at the back of the pack, which is not very pretty. The 6-ball is at the corner, so that's the best bet for a break shot. And this is the important one, is getting that cue ball on the spot for the break. And it has to be within this area here, or at worst within that area, to make a cutback. and Potman has that problem and dilemma in his head because he's missed a 4 thinking about the 6, and that's where the mistakes come. And Larry can't see the 4 to pot it, I don't think, which is why he's going to be forced into having a go at the 6. But again, it is only a visit of 5, and that isn't going to get the job done, Potman. How does that look? That's dead straight again. Yeah. He's drawn to the side rail with the inside English. Oh, he's managed to use the bottom rail. He's did well to get that out of it. With the bottom left English to kick it into the pack. How's his luck? Well, he's got one. And already there's a pattern. You know, Larry's contributions are... Well, his second contribution was 40, and Potman's only amassed 18 points in his 2 visits. Get a quick swig again. So for any latecomers, this is a second round match in this year's Virtual Pool 4 Straight Pool World Championship, which will finish at some point in 2021. Race to 200. Now, he's going to have to pick off the bank. I mean, the other thing about this in the pro game of Straight Pool is probably reasonably rare that you'll see a pro having to probably play banks in Straight Pool because their positional play is so good. And there's the result come through. A comfortable win for Mark Shark against Gung Ho by 200 points to 8 is, what's that, 68. Well, so far today nobody has used their minute shot clock up, so the shot clock and the extensions are more than enough. Mind you, if Snakes is in this tournament, he could take an hour to play a shot, I think. Now I missed that there. Was that a missed call? Did he go for the 2 and pot the 1? I think he did. Yeah, I thought my brain was playing tricks with me. Well, that's Potman been given a lifeline here because Larry's only scored 9. Yeah, he tried to break the pack there. Now, again, he could have tried to cut that 7-ball gentle with a bit of inside just to get the cue ball about there, and then play the one into the middle and break them that way. That shot was a possibility. Had to be played gentle and had to check the cue ball just to stop it running away up the table. As it is now, he's got a 2-ball into the middle, and again, if he plays this 2-ball right, he can come down this way. If he finished over there, he could pot the one and still nudge the cue ball into those 2 balls. And the problem is now he's running out of options. Now, the shot he has now would be to send the cue ball there and down to here, pot the one and run into the balls that way. And he hasn't got there. He's way short. The line's all wrong. He had to get that to come up directly to get to there. And this is why your positional play is going to be found out as well in this tournament, because you have to more or less pinpoint a place where that cue ball has to be in order to get that option to break these balls. And that's why when you run out of balls, you run out of options. And now he's got no shot, and the contribution's only 3. Well, he could do a tiny feather, no more than a scrape of paint. Well, surely he can just feather the edge there and just run to the rail. What is he called anything here? No, he hasn't. See, that's far too heavy. That's why see why it's so difficult to play good safeties, because everybody's hitting the object ball too thick. You've just got to brush them. It's almost like trying to miss them, but you hit them. You're hitting them so thin. Same thing for Larry. Get himself into the middle of the table. That's the shot, because that now gives him the cut and the cue ball straight into that side of the pack. And he's missed a 14, and it's another lifeline for Potman. And is he at some point going to take advantage of it? Because, you know, you look at the scoreboard and Larry's just creeping away from Potman, and Potman's not making any impact with his visits, none whatsoever so far. He's got to put something in this board. He can't say he never had any opportunities, because he's had 4 at least so far, and immediately he's got himself in trouble again. He's got the 14. Where's his next ball coming from though? Because he's going to have to get this cue ball in a good spot to have a shot. Well, he's got too much angle, I think, to draw back and finish on the 8-ball, which is the one that's in the open. Well, he's checked it inside big time, and he's got on the 8. And now he's got to put something on here. Vital that he scores here. Look at the balls. The way they're sat now, nothing needs to move. As long as you pick your pattern here, you will open up balls. You don't need to move anything else at all. You have to just pick your way through them and get that clear in your head. There's unnecessary movement here when it's not needed. I mean, I can see a shot here. You pot that one, you finish in the 13, you can run through for the 15 or the 7. You see he's running away up there. He's clearly not, he's got a different mindset in how he's trying to run this table than I have. And the first problem is he's leaving himself big distances. Now those two balls are a little bit of a hindrance, and he can nudge into them. He should still have a shot, but the previous, or the shot 2 shots ago, if he'd played it better, the cue ball would have still been in this bottom half of the table, and he could have picked off half a dozen balls as it was without moving anything else. Let's look at that 4, the 7 and 1. Nothing needs to be moved there either. The only thing you need to do is get rid of the 11, and he's got the angle to do that off the 9. If he pots the 9, gets over to the right hand side, he can get rid of the 11 ball, and if he gets a good line in the 11, he can run through and take like the 3 ball into the middle, something like that. But again, he's overhit that by a country mile to be where he should have been. Well, he's making this hard work. It's hard work watching this. And he should be over to the right hand side for the 3 or the 13. And if it drops in the right position, he can get rid of the 7 now. So again, that shot, you're playing into an area, and the area there meant that if he went a wee bit further up, he could have got rid of the 3 or the 13. He still can get rid of the 3, but he's now plumb on this 7, and he wants to get rid of that now that he's on it, and he's taking the 3 instead. Get rid of the 7 or the 1, whichever it's going to be. And again, he's overhitting them. He's putting too much juice on them. These just need these little half stun shots with a little bit, a tiny fraction of bottom on them, just to get that soft draw. And Potman's overhitting them. And this is a crucial shot here. Now, where does he put this cue ball so that he's potting that 10? Well, the angle he's got, he can try and get the cue ball into here, pot the 10, run into the pack if he can that way. That's an easier option to get the cue ball somewhere that will give him a shot, but he has to get square on this 10 if he can, doing it that way. And that needs to keep running. That's not bad. Let's look at... Well, I think the problem here is he needs to go top, and so that he clips something here, because if he stuns this he's going to miss the pack. Yeah, he's just managed to clip something, and now he's left with the 13. And he's got to get a bit of bottom in this, because if he lets this go forward again he could follow it in. This is a crucial shot in his visit, and it doesn't need to be hard. Well, there you go, commentator's eye. Potman's fell straight into the trap, and again, is he thinking about what he's doing? Because he had to make sure that that cue ball had enough dig in it to prevent it running forward like that, and he just played the invitation to the pocket. And once again, it's only 14, and it could have been so much more. Saw that coming a mile away. Well, Potman, just you watch this video once this match is over and see where you went wrong there. And look at these balls now. Larry's at the table, and he probably can pick his way through 3 or 4 of these balls, the 2 in the side rail for a start, without looking to do any major damage here. Because if he gets the right angle on one of them, he can certainly nudge 1 or 2 out of the way. He doesn't need to do anything major, but he's got the opportunity to now get rid of those 2, or get rid of at least one of them. Well, the 14 goes, but I think he's worried that if he took the 6, is it a good idea to try and keep the run going doing that? He's going to find a gap, and he almost found a hole. Well, that's my philosophy. You know, whenever you end up in a position where you happen to be near that problem ball, and if that problem ball's got a pocket to go into, get rid of it. Now he can stun into those 3 in a line, probably pot the 12 as well. The 7, the 11 and the 12, I think they're lined up to the corner pocket more or less. No, not quite, but he can certainly just brush them if he wants to. But again, that's also the example there where you don't need to when they're all lined up into the opposite corner pocket. And this is why, if you move the ball better and these balls have a pocket, then why try and improve a situation that doesn't really need to be improved? All the while he's doing this though, he's still stuck with a 6 ball and a 1 ball on the right rail. But Larry won't really be worried, because Potman's not coming back with much, and all the time Larry's stretching away. One other thing as well is that if you realise you've got a minute shot clock, that's more than enough time to just get a little pattern into your head about what you're going to do. Well, I think there's like, to me there's like 3 or 4 basic rules to straight pull. I'm not talking about the actual game rules, I'm talking about your own rules when you come to the table. When you come to the table, you deal with blocking balls, you deal with balls down the table. When I say down the table, I'm talking about up the table as we look. Any balls in the top half of the table, you want rid of them so that you can concentrate on what you're doing at the business end of the table. Any blocking balls and any balls stuck in the rails, you want to get rid of them. And all the while you're doing that, you want to have picked out where your break ball is so you can work your way around it. If you have that in mind every time you come to the table, it'll help you. But you have to think wisely and play wisely. And Larry's contributions are much heavier than what Potman's given so far. Larry's moving on to 72. Potman is already a long way behind, and well, when he gets to the table on his next visit, he has to put in 20 or 30 to keep his hopes alive. If he fails on that, then it's just going to be a procession till the end. And this is perfect for Larry. Again, doesn't need to thump it. Again, that cue ball could easily have run into that pocket. But we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 balls that are wide open. Well, here's a chance here on the 14 to just nudge into those 3 balls. The top one, which is the 9 ball, does go, and if he can leave it to take that 9 ball and break them from that ball, as long as he gets sort of here, which he's got a good opportunity to do so where the 14 and the 3 is. So there's no immediate panic here to open them, but he had an opportunity on the 14 to do it. Now, even if he gets rid of the 14 and the 3, he's still got another option, because if he ends up taking the 10 into there and finishes here with the cue ball, he can still pot the 9 and open these up. So he's got a couple of options still available in order to deal with those 4 balls in the middle of the table, which I think are also right in the middle of the triangle. And I don't really think that Larry has got a proper break ball here. I mean, the 14 is the sort of nearest one, but it all depends on what happens here. And Larry right now, well, that 14 ball's now in the way. He's just coming out, and he's going a bit too far. Now, what about the 15 for the break and opening him? That's perfect. I think he can get to the angle on it. Once again though, this just needs to be gentle. I don't think he's convinced himself he can get there on it. He's now having another look at the 9 ball for the first option that I mentioned. So it's all going to hinge on the line he has on this 9 ball. Oh, Larry's totally chickened out there. The mouse is going to get the blame again. Now Potman should have looked at that 9 ball. He doesn't need to try and smack these open. He can drop around onto the 9 ball, into that right middle. Well, that's what I say. That's why I'd never have a track ball. What's he doing here? Right, so you pot the 14, you run the cue ball round to there. So if you go that wee bit too far, you've got the pot and you've opened him. If you go that way and round to here and up to here, then you've got the same choice that Larry had as to whether you can get to that 15 to pot it. And the more I look at it, the more it looks tight to actually get to the potting angle. So Potman's now got himself in as good a position. Well, okay, he should be up at the middle pocket, but he's still got the potting angle to put this 9 away. And this only needs to be gentle. He doesn't need to slam this, he just needs to move them, and that will do. And now he's got a break ball at the back of the pack, but he's going to have to take it. Well, I think he needs to let this cue ball run, because I don't think he can hold and get a shot on this 12, can he? Once these balls are re-racked, the angle's entirely wrong for what he wants to do. Attention all pockets. Is that going to run there? Because if it ends up in the pack, he's going to be down in the kitchen. So now he has the dilemma. He's got ball in hand in the kitchen. He can play the bank on the 12, or he can play the safety, and he's only got 4 points on the board in this visit. He's trailing by 43 points. And he's trying to cut it, and that was a fatal mistake. It was a brave one, but has he got away with it? I'll tell you what, he may well have. Can Larry see the 8 ball? Well, that 8 ball's not going anywhere. Larry can't get to the 1. Well, Potman has used up 9 lives there in one shot. Well, Larry's trying to convince himself he can do something with the 8 ball. That's not on. There's nothing going there. Can't get to the 10. And he's going to be hard pushed to keep this safe. Well, it's the reverse bank, I think. What pocket did he call there? Is he trying to cut this, or is he trying to bank it into this pocket? I think this is a pocket he's called, and he's played it well. And of course, entirely out of desperation, he'd not really much of an option there, and he's dug himself out a hole. Well, I think one of the ways to try and break, Keith, is just let the snooker break and try and finish right in the corner of one of the pockets in the kitchen and not scratch, but it's so difficult to do, and try and keep it safe. What you're trying to do is nudge the opposite corner ball off the side rail back into the pack so that you've made a legal break. But that's why you have to get, the first thing I'd be doing is go and practicing my lag, because you're going to have to win the lag in this tournament. that's the most important shot of the game, the lag. because you're dreading being put in, and you're going to be put in as soon as you lose it. Well, Potman's contribution has wiped out straight away. Larry's on 4. Potman's way back in 49. Larry has made the mistake again. Well, that's about 4 or 5 errors from Larry, and out of those 4 or 5 errors, Potman's only amassed 40 points, so that's an average less than 10 each visit, which is poor. Are you listening, Potman? You clearly aren't. I think some players, and from today's evidence, some players are going to struggle with some of the wee delicate shots that you have to play sometimes in straight pull. Little soft stuns, a little sort of half screw shot just to sort of move the cue ball a little bit, because they're not used to playing those shots, and these are the sort of little delicate things that you sometimes have to dig out just to get you on that next ball, or just to nudge past a ball that's in your way. And some players are maybe going to find that you need that wee bit more defter touch. Well, who was it who said that earlier on this afternoon? Was it semi-pro? I'm not quite convinced there'll be a lot of runs of 100, because you can see how much things can go wrong. But one thing's for certain though, that the standard, oh dear Potman, the standard will go up as the field begins to thin out. That's always going to happen in a tournament. But Potman's visit, only 3. Well, if I was Potman's headmaster and I was filling out his report card, I'd be putting down must do better. Right, what's Larry's options? Well, one option is that the 7 ball is going to stay there, I think, and if he gets over this side he can pot the 7 in the middle, break the pack that way. let's see if that's what he's thinking. Needs a little run through. That's it. That's exactly my point, Keith. It's a tall order to get good on that break ball. Well, I don't think that's where Larry wanted to be somehow, because I don't know why he didn't think to just roll through. He should have been sitting there, somewhere like that, just to run that in and break the top of the pack. No, this is the second round, miasma. Most of the players got a bye to the second round, and Larry trying his best, but that was nigh on impossible to get anything good out of that from where the cue ball was sitting. So Larry looking for the feather, and no damage done. Now, quick look at the pack, nothing happening. That's how soft you have to hit them, like that, so you're not creating carnage. Likewise with Larry, just a tiny feather and get that cue ball nailed to the rail. That's always a good shot in straight pull. Get that distance between the cue ball and the pack, and then ask your opponent to get a thin shot without breaking anything out the pack. Well, I hope for Potman's sake he's not going gung-ho here, because it's one thing to go gung-ho, but you've got to back it up if you do get the pack open. It looks as if he was winding up to do something here. Good evening. That's a good shot. It hasn't quite got the distance, but he's left a tempter for Larry. Can Larry resist? I don't think so. Larry's got a comfortable lead. He's got to get this nailed, because he's got half a pocket to get this into. And in it goes. Now, can he chip something out here? Not the best of angles. Going to have to dig deep. Yeah. Simply because he was too straight. Couldn't get the momentum into the cue ball. But he's going to play the thin cut in a 5. And another chance for Potman, albeit a slim one the way they're sitting at the moment. Now, you pot the 5. Now, there's a big danger with this shot here, that if he doesn't do something with the cue ball on this one ball, he could let it run straight around the corner into this bottom left hand corner where he is. Is he taking it long and leaving the 5 ball? but he could cut it into the middle. Well, he's got a shortage of options here once he pots this 5, but he does have one, and that's the 10 ball, and he has to leave the cue ball about here if he can. If he can get the cue ball there, he's in good shape to pot the 10 and open them. That should be his target, something like that, or on the 14, it doesn't matter. I think he's ended up 2 straight. Yeah. But if he pots the 10, in fact that's too tight as well, so now he's got little or no option. He could try and pinch something out of that pocket, and he's missed the 10, and Larry can snap this 6 ball. Well, the highest run, we've already seen it tonight. What was it, 40 by Larry? Well, this is a break ball to get these opened up. Again, you can see how when the balls are lined up sort of flat, it ends up killing the cue ball and leaving it awkward, and Larry's got it awkward. He's going to have to play the long combo, and there's a fair margin of error in this shot. He should get this every day of the week. 4 ball onto the 11. He's looking to, is he cutting that 4 into the middle? In off the 10. I think the easier shot is the push the 4 onto the 11. It looks by far the easier shot to me, but he's got it and he's used the 10. And now nothing needs to be moved other than the fact that the 9 and 10 are both encroaching in the triangle, so they're going to have to go, but he doesn't have to disturb anything else. And the 2 ball can be the break ball as long as he's here. You've got to get into the middle of the table for that 2 ball. That looks like favourite. Well, it's gone, so Larry's got a different idea, and the different idea would have to be something like that on the 8 ball to get into the pack, or from the left side, or if he's up sort of there, I would think, or there. So he's going to work his way around the 8 ball, but the 9 is also there. Now where's that 9 ball sitting in relation to the triangle? Well, if he's here, that'll be the shot. So that's definitely going to be the shot. So he wants to draw back to be parallel with the 9 if he can, and that is not bad. Once again, he can pot the 9, but doesn't need to thump this, because he could run straight off the side of the pack again and follow the 9 in. So he has to take evasive action for that, and that will do very nicely indeed. And so the score, well, Larry's got a 60-point lead in climbing, 105 points to 45. And he's still got an opportunity to extend a high run if he can on this visit. And there is not a ball on the table that needs to be moved. This is all about picking your way through them. This is an ideal situation for anybody to be watching, where you don't need to move anything. The only ball that should be moving here is a cue ball, nothing else, because nothing else needs to move. He missed the 9. Oh, that must have been when I had my little doodle up on the screen. Oh shit. I had my little doodle up on the screen and my screen was frozen because I kept it on the screen, because it's like holding a screenshot, and I've missed Larry's miss. Well, that's a disaster then. Well, this is Christmas come early for Potman. Well, you see how I'm totally focused on the table. I'm glad you said that. Well, this is entirely the opposite point of view now. Potman's sitting on what? He's sitting in 50, and every ball at his mercy here. Now, why doesn't he just cut that ball into the top right hand corner where he is right now? He'll go over to the left hand side. If he's lucky enough, he'll have a shot in the 3, and if he's not, he'll still have a shot in the 8 or the 12. So he's got to get rid of the 14 ball on the side rail, because that's blocking the 9. He needs to get rid of that, and he's on it, and he should be taking it. And he's in exactly the same position he was 2 minutes ago. He can't get down onto this 3, and he's running out of shots again. That 14 has to go. It's a blocking ball and it has to be moved. When's he going to listen? Well, now he can run that 3 ball in. If he wants, he can run. What is that ball there on the right hand side? Is that the 15? If he drops through, he can get the 3 in the middle, get rid of those 2 balls, because they were annoying me. I don't know about anybody else, but when you get shot of those balls, pot the 3 back across for the 5 or the 9. The 15 ball is the break ball, because it's sitting prime. You know, he's probably safer if you can use the angle in the 9 to go forward and take the 5 into the top right hand corner where he is right now. Let's have a look at it from his end. No, that's too straight. He'd probably run through and follow into the pocket. Good evening, Mooncake. I remembered your name this time. Well, I think this is we're rapidly approaching Potman's highest run so far. Well, now he's got a problem because he's going to have to take his break ball. And again, as far as I'm concerned, this is coming down to the fact that he hasn't dealt with the situation over here soon enough. If he dealt with that soon enough, he wouldn't probably in this position. Well, he can nudge the 9 and hopefully for his sake he can nudge it into a better position. And this again only needs to be gentle. And he's missed the 9. May well wanted to miss the 9. Now, how's the angle? Well, he may well miss the pack at first attempt here and try and hit it from 2 rails. Oh, he's managed to get the top end of it. Where's the cue ball? Well, he's okay. There's 5 balls in play here. And if he can get onto this 6 from this side, that can be used to open him up. But I don't think he should be worrying anything like that. He should just take what's there in the time being. Well, straight through onto the 4. Get rid of the 4. Get rid of the 5. Get rid of the 8. Now, if he had any opportunity here and could pot any of those balls and somehow get the cue ball up to here, he then gives himself a choice. He's still got a ball that can keep his run going, but if he gets here, he can pot the 6 and open them up. And he's got a chance to do that right now off the 8 ball, I think. Let's have a look. If he pots that 8 ball, he can run out into the table. And he's ending up dead. And that's poor. No. I would have been doing my best efforts to get out into the table and either land on that 3, or if I went far enough, give me that cut shot in the 6. And now he's got nothing. And the run is 19. It reduces the deficit, but it's not making an impact. Well, could he see the 8 ball? Because I never looked close at that. So well, he's left it reasonably safe. The pot's obviously on for the 6. Larry's going to go up for the 3. And if he goes far enough, he'll have the angle to move things. The problem with the angle he's got is he's running way up, so he's going to have to get out into the table. How does that look? Well, at best he's going to move the 13 ball, and if he brushes off the 13 he could disturb probably the 1, but the 1 doesn't need disturbing, but he needs to hit the 2. I don't think he's really convenient to do that with this shot. And of course he's on the rail, so he can't really dig into the cue ball either, so he's just got to take his medicine here. Pot the ball. Well, he took the 3 and got the kick, and everything's sitting pretty good. So the top of the pack in the triangle has got the 7 and the 13 in it, which are obviously no good there. And the back of the pack, once again, the 8 ball, and the candidate for the break shot would have been the 10, even though it's at the top of the pack, but it's going. Well, I'm thinking, is Larry going to go this side for the 15 and run into the pack? Because the other issue he's got now is where he's sitting. He's in an ugly position here. That 13 ball could have been used as a break shot, but he had no other shot on, so it has to go. So it's highly likely that it could be the 15 ball, but he has to get up there though, and he's running out of options. Well, if he takes the 8 ball, the cue ball's running up the table slightly, but it'll at least have a cut angle in the one to get the cue ball up the table, so that's the right shot there. And now he's got plenty of room to come up this right hand side of the table, so he's got a big zone to get this cue ball into. Pot the one, get the cue ball up here, and as long as he goes far enough up, he doesn't want to be finishing sort of here, he wants to get into this zone up here to be able to play that cut, and he's running into it, and that's all gone wrong. Well, Larry had such a huge area to get that cue ball into. Well, this is a big cut, and off 2 rails, and that's all you need is a ball. That's a good shot. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 balls in the open here. 8 if you include the 3, which has now been locked up. I would have taken the 11 there, because Larry's actually made the situation worse, but now he's going to open it again if he takes a 9. Now I'm wondering why he's not taking the 9, because that's a prime candidate to release those other balls that's there. Well, there's another famous last words quote by Stubb. So Larry, 119 points to 63. Well, there's never a truer statement there, Stub. He smoked nothing. Well, all that Potman can see is Larry's smoke as he heads away into the distance. And he's creeping ever farther away. And it's only going to take a substantial contribution from Potman if he gets another chance to keep him in this match, because it's rapidly running away. Cue ball every day of the week. Well, here's Potman's chance, and Larry is in such a generous mood that against anybody else they would have probably been neck and neck with Larry right now if they were able to score something. And Potman's been handed another chance. No, you can't do that, I'm afraid, Potman. A contribution of 1. It was hardly worth the visit, I'm afraid. Oh dear. Old shutdown mode's kicked in, I'm afraid, guys. The old brain is going to cloud cuckoo land. Well, Larry pots the 6 here, gets high enough up in that 2 ball so they can run the 2 and just brush into the 10 and the 5. That's the plan. Or that should be the plan, I would think. Has to be high enough though. I think the worry here with this 6 ball is whether he would roll through and actually drop into the middle pocket. Larry playing the big drop to spin around the corner. Well, he certainly freed the 10 and 5 up. He's still got a shot in the 2. Now, what's he done with the 5 though? And the 5's encroaching into the triangle. So that's no good. And this is why I mean, this is a perfect example of why it's so difficult to run 100 balls, let alone, I mean, it's difficult enough to run 50, but to always get that perfect position and get that ball there for the break shot, it is a tall order. And this is why I'm not as convinced as some folk that people are going to be running 150 and 200 in this tournament. Well, that's done it. Larry's accidentally potted the 2 balls, so just to brush into the pack, and Potman should be heading down to the long grass with a feather-light touch on that pack. If he doesn't get to the rail, it doesn't matter, he's only losing a point, but he wants to get distance if he can, and that is not bad. Larry could, what's he calling here? Oh, he's going all out. Larry's not worried about you, Potman. He's quite happy to take the risks. And I think Larry has he got the cut back in that 9? Can he get to that edge to make the 9? Yes, he can. And I think he can just roll straight through in the 1. But he's going to have to play the 13 next, because he's got nothing else. And immediately Larry's run out of options. There's nothing else on. He's not potting a 6. There's not a combo readily available. Well, this shot is not the ideal angle, not only for the pot, but to get this cue ball to go in the direction it's going to take it to the pack. Now if he bounces hard enough, well, he's got a shot. That's ended up quite good. Oh, that's locked up. And Larry's what's he gonna do? Can he? Is he trying to make the cut straight away? I thought he was going to go up and down there for the bank. Yep, he can get it. Try to spin it around the 7 to get the potting angle in the 4. Where's the cue ball going though? The same place it's been before. And well, this is Potman. As far as I can see, it's Potman's next to last chance to actually score anything here. could have done with a little nudge there. Although, does he need a nudge? Let's have a look at these two balls. Well, the 4 ball definitely goes, as long as you can get there or thereabouts. So Larry on 133 and Potman on 66. And the next shot should be getting rid of that 14 ball. Doesn't matter where the cue ball is, they should be getting rid of the 14. I think the that 12 ball's a good candidate for a break shot. You get here, pot that 12 in there and run into the pack. Even if you just catch the last corner ball or the last 2 balls on that triangle which is there. In fact, maybe that's a good idea. I've just had a brainwave there, guys. There you go, that's a triangle. I'll paint the lines. I'll paint the kitchen line on. There it's there. Oh well, that kitchen line's tripped Larry up. Not the kitchen line, the triangle, and that is set. Not Larry, Potman. Larry's got set up with a break ball. Where's the cue ball going? Into the hole, and Merry Christmas again, Potman. I've never seen Larry being so generous. I think these balls are magnetised to these pockets. Just missed the point and straight into the hole. Well, Potman just wants to get down onto the bottom rail here so he can cut that 15 and run into the pack. The big question is Potman going to get to 100? Well, he's gone for the side rail option, but he's going to be running into the back of the pack. He needs to catch a corner here. You don't want to run straight into the back of the pack. He's caught a corner and they've split beautifully. Well, apart from the 4 been tied up against what looks to be the 1 ball, but he's got a fair few balls to choose from. Well, this time tomorrow night I'll be in bed already. What time is it? I'll have been in bed an hour and a quarter ago. So it's 9:45 at the moment, and tomorrow night I'll be in bed at 8:30 because I've got to be up at 2:30 in the morning and Monday morning. Start my shift at 4 AM, which is a pain in the arse, to be frank with you. Yeah, because it's leading up to Christmas, I've got on Christmas week itself, I've got 3 shifts that start at 4 a.m. I've got I had one last Monday that started at 4 a.m. and I've got one this Monday morning at 4 a.m. So I have to be out of bed at 2:30 in the morning to get ready and get something to eat, quick cup of coffee, and then straight into the car. You sound like a baker. Ha ha. No, I'm not a baker. If I was a baker, let's be honest, I'd be 10 stone heavier than I am right now, because I'd be eating most of the stuff I baked. I can guarantee that. I would be my own best customer. No, but I do work with guys who do work in the bakery part of the store, and I think they're in the store from 2 a.m. in the morning to get all the dough mixed up and get the bread and the rolls and everything made. Well, good evening, Bill. Bakers 3, right? What does that mean? Well, Bill, if you've just joined us, the story of this match is Larry is giving Potman every opportunity to score, and Potman is taking every opportunity not to score when he's been given it. That's the story. Larry's highest run has been 40. Potman's has not been worth mentioning. He's not been able to put anything together. Oh, baker's dozen, you mean? I've got that now. See, I'm falling asleep. My brain isn't quite up to scratch most of the time, but at this time of night, it's not so much the oxygen levels that go down, that everything goes down. The brain is on shutdown mode, telling my body I should be in bed. But the problem with that is that I'm not at work tomorrow, so give it another hour, and after this match, once I go and get a cup of coffee, I'll be wide awake again. I think when you get to a certain age, you go through these phases. Especially bear in mind that before I came to do this match, I had two big huge beer battered cod fillets for my dinner, and I mean we're talking like 2 wedges off the side of a whale that I've just eaten for my dinner. And I normally have to have a nap after I've had my dinner. I usually fall asleep in front of the TV after I've had a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and I've just come straight up to get ready for this stream. But anyway, Potman is on a run of 12. He's on 82. He's narrowed the gap. He's now 50 behind. But he's not going to very many more here unless he does something, and I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, he's got a 1 chance at the bank here for the 9. He can play a cut in the 9. I'll tell you what the shot is, and you have to be brave to play it. You pot the 9 into the middle, you put top right hand English on the cue ball, and you go that way and you make the breakout. That's the shot. You have to be brave enough to have a go at it. So get the cut angle, get the right hand English on it, use the spin off the rail and go around. And well, he's went for it in the top corner pocket, but it had to be the 9, because that's quite a big target to hit, because even if you hit it there, you're still going to hit the pack, the 2 balls. So the shot was on. So Larry kills the cue ball. Well, he's actually, I think he's killed it too much there and come back slightly. Could have done with a wee bit higher angle. He's just a bit too straight on this. Yeah, that's the problem straight away. Just that little error. If he had gone a wee bit higher in the one, he would have had the angle to stun it in and run into the head of that pack there. And these are the slight errors in positional play that just can cost you keeping a run going. And it convinces me even more that it's going to be so difficult for any of these guys to put big runs together, let alone just one during the tournament. But some people seem to think there's going to be a spate of them. I'm going to need a bit more convincing before I stick my neck out and say somebody's going to make a 100-odd run. Well, Potman at the table with no shot. Now, he should be playing the deliberate foul here, because Larry's on one foul, and this is where you have to use your knowledge of the game rules, and I'm afraid that was not the shot. Because Larry, I think, can cut the 6. Can he get to the 2? Yeah, he's having to spin that in as well. He can cut the 4. No, that was not the right shot, Potman. Should have just played the deliberate foul, just rolled into the pack. I think what you're saying there is, semi-pro, there is too many ifs and buts in straight pool in order to string these runs together. Everything has to just fall into place. But I think the other biggest factor in it is how you pick your way through these balls when they do open up. Because if you don't pick that right pattern, you may well have saved a break ball for like 6 shots, and then you end up, you have to go on a plan B because you've ended up running into it or having to pot it to just get yourself out of trouble. There's so many factors that can prevent you from stringing this run together. Well, the other side of that, Mark, is that the incentive's there for the guys to chase these down. That's the whole idea behind it. And it creates a competition within a competition. So you might get knocked out the tournament, but you have a very good chance of, if you can get a good run, you've got a good chance of winning your entry fee back and more, if you can mark something up on the scoreboard. But I just think it's a tall order. And don't forget, I would say that 98% of the players in this tournament never play straight pool, or may well never have played it. So they're not familiar with the general rules of the game and what you have to do in order to try and keep a run going. Because you're going to get guys, you're going to get guys like we saw today, who are just going to pot any ball they see, and not actually think about what they're doing at all. Well, Potman, when he's on in the afternoon, I've seen him entering the straight pool tournaments during an afternoon, but that's just a sort of pastime, because like most players, it's like 9 ball, 8 ball, cowboy for me in the mornings with the guys, but nothing much else. And the only time I've really played 8 ball has been against Ron, against One Eye, when he's been sitting in the room on his own. If I've got time, I'll just go in to play a game with him, save him sitting there bored. But that's why my highest run is 33 in straight pool, because I never play it. I'm actually more proud about the fact that I've now reached my rating in Cowboy is now at 2000, which means that now I'm only 700 points behind VP Monster and Tornado Tam. And every time I play any of them, I never get any points off them, and they never get any points off me. So where's the incentive to play those guys? Other than the fact that I enjoy beating them from time to time. Stuff black ball, you're just a bloody butcher at black ball. You're looking for, I'll tell you who you're looking for, semi-pro. You're looking for a new guy in VP4 where his nickname is Gullible. That's the guy you're looking for. Hi, I'm new to Virtual Pool 4. How do we play? My name's Gullible. Semi-pro steps. I come in here and I'll show you black ball. And then the poor guy disappears and never comes back. I tell you where I think Steve went wrong. And I told him this probably, oh goodness knows how many years ago. I'll tell you when I told him. When we heard that GameSpy was shutting down, because that was then the death knell on Virtual Pool 3. And I think for Steve to still be selling Virtual Pool 3 on the Celerus website and offering no game lobby to play it, I think that's a big mistake. Because I think he should have thought about putting a game lobby for Virtual Pool 3 and Virtual Pool 4, and get people to come online and play Virtual Pool 3. Because how many thousands of folk have still got Virtual Pool 3? I mean, I've still got it kicking about somewhere in its original box, and I've got the other one. What the hell was the other one? I bought them in from the States, if I remember. But he should have created a Virtual Pool 3 lobby. It would have meant a lot more work. But to be selling a game, I think he's still charging £10 for it, and all you can play is a LAN game, and you've not got a community built up around it, whereas we had an original community for Virtual Pool 3, and I'm pretty certain there are some guys that would still have a game in Virtual Pool 3. I would still play Virtual Pool 3 if we had a lobby for it. I'd still jump in now and again, and I think he made a big mistake there. Okay, it's an old game now, but and there was all the problems with opening ports and all of that crap. I don't think he wants that sort of grief. But no, I think if he had a Virtual Pool 3, Virtual Pool 4 gaming lobby, it would have been at least something that offered people to still play the game. And we could get Steve to ban Stub to the Virtual Pool 3 lobby, and he can just go in there. Well, Larry, on 138, Potman is creeping ever so slowly closer. And well, again, this is a very good opportunity just to chip away at that deficit if he's careful and takes his time. Oh dear. Well, commentators curse, I'm afraid, there, guys. And Potman has shot himself right in the foot there. I wonder if any. I'm willing to bet there's still guys playing Virtual Pool 3 on that Hamachi and whatever else is still available. It'd be interesting to see. In fact, there's a challenge for you. Somebody find out if Virtual Pool 3 is running in any of these online lobbies somewhere, and we'll set up a Virtual World Championship and we'll run it properly. And we'll use what do you call it? We'll use the challenge website to create a tournament bracket, and we'll run a championship on there. There you go. And it'll be like a phoenix from the flames for Virtual Pool 3. I thought Cali was dead and buried. I thought that died 20 years ago. The last time that I played Virtual Pool 3 was on that Tungle, and there was so much bother with that Tungle. It either worked or it didn't work. And then I think we tried it on Hamachi. That's when we were desperate to try and keep the game going, when GameSpy was going down the Swanee River. Well, the lead goes to 51 again. Potman's chance was there. Tungle gone as well. Tungle has gone. I think I read that, or I saw it in a website or something. I think, I'll tell you what I was doing. I was searching a few weeks back because I was trying to remember one of these sites that I went to at one time, and I could never, and I've never been able to remember the name of it to see whether it still existed. And I think I read something that said about Tungle, I think Tungle got shut down for legal reasons or something, I read. I don't fully remember what the story was, but I think it was some sort of legal dispute that blew it out. That Game Ranger, I think's got hundreds of games on it. I mean, we're talking about games that died a death a long time ago that people are still playing. The angle's there for Larry. Well, this is going to smack them open. And I think Larry's going to try and finish with a flourish, get the high run for the tournament, and run out the match. Well, this match has now been going on for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Somebody do me a favour. If you're in the UK, switch on to even if you're not in front of the telly, go on to Google and type in Quest Space TV, and it'll take you to I think it's the second one in the Google search, and it'll allow you to, well, tell a lie, if you're not logged in you won't be able to see it, but you can go to Quest TV and tell me what's happening in the snooker, please. Because Selby's playing, I can't remember the boy's name. Right, see you later, Mark. In fact, before you go to bed, go and find us the snooker score. Because it's, well, I think it's pretty strong odds that it's going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan against Mark Selby. That'll be a grind of a match, and I'll be able to see, well, I'll see the first session of it definitely tomorrow afternoon. Jamie Jones, yeah, he get. I was listening to Neil Foulds commentating earlier on, and seemingly that Jamie Jones was banned from the game for a while. I don't know what he was up to, but he was on a disciplinary thing, which meant he lost all his ranking points. Oh, the match is over, 6-1. Oh well. So it's a Selby O'Sullivan final. Right, well that's a bit of variance in score. Selby won 6-1 and Keith says 6-4 to Ronnie. So now I've just got to guess what the score was. Can we get a third opinion on that result, please? Larry's run goes to 20, but it might be over. What's he looking at? He's called a 9. That's a good shot. So it was 6-1. Did I tell you about the? Aye, I think I did. I told you about the flight that I did. I think it was the second day after I installed Flight Simulator, and I took off from. I think I was flying from a small airport in the west coast of Ireland. I don't know what the airport was, but I took off from there, and I had a course to land at Prestwick Airport, and I was flying in real time, so everything was going fine. I flew over the Irish Sea. I flew over Arran. I could see Prestwick Airport through the clouds, and then I was on my descent, and unfortunately I landed in Prestwick and not Prestwick Airport. I think I landed in Royal Troon Golf Course. I never got to to land at Prestwick Airport. Oh dear. Yep, you'll get live traffic. You'll get multiplayer as well. So you end up. I mean, I watched a live stream by when the game came out with PewDiePie, and he was flying a jumbo jet, and of course you've got thousands of folk watching him, and about probably 300 of them were all chasing after PewDiePie, and he's flying along, and all you could see was jets and all sorts trying to take him out the sky. I don't. Is Flight Sim out in the? Is it out in the PS5s and Xbox? No, I didn't think so. No. I mean, it's Microsoft. You wouldn't expect them to release that in a console. Well, Larry's still at the table. Oh, Cyberpunk. Aye. I've got it. By the way, I've got that on. I've got it on normal mode, and I'm bloody hopeless with the pistol. I'm crap at shooting games anyway, but I am really struggling because all I've got is a pistol. And I've already seen nudity in that game. I'm disgusted. Had to lift a naked lady out of a bath earlier on. Not a stitch on. I could see things. Well, Larry is trying to get this over with. He's still got a wee bit to go. Well, this, I'm trying to remember the other game that I've got. It's a Ubisoft game. What was that one? They're bringing out a new version of it as well. The one where you do loads of hacking in it. You know, it's a first person game. What's it called, Keith? It's just a bit like Cyberpunk, where you've got things to do, and you can use the hacking to create road accidents. Aye, that one. Aye, Watch Dogs. I had was it Watch Dogs 2? I quite enjoyed that once I got my head round the hacking bit of it. So this Cyberpunk's just a bit like that, only probably in a bigger scale. But I'm finding it difficult with the shooting, I'm afraid. In fact, what I'm thinking of doing is starting it again and just starting it in numpty mode. You know, noob setting. Oh, I better not say noob, I'll get muted. Is that game released? I never even knew that Watch Dogs Legions was out. See, those games are hard to get. So that's why you don't get things like Red Dead Redemption 3 on the thingy sites. You know, the torrent sites. I think they're far too difficult to crack. But Cyberpunk was released, and within hours it was up on the sites. Well, that's where I got it. I'm damn sure I'm paying 50 quid for something like that. And I know straight away that my money's been well saved. What the hell did Potman do there to end up -1? Did he scratch again? I'm too busy reading the chat. So Larry on 178, Potman in 94. The big question is Potman going to break the 100 before this match is over? Well, I mean, that I agree with what you're saying there, Sylvia. But the other side of the coin is I used to be one of these gullible people who would set their hearts on a game, go and spend the money on it, find out it's shit, and then you've got this empty feeling that you've just wasted 40 quid on a game. I would much rather try it out and then make that decision. I've downloaded and tried loads of games, and in the end I've bought loads of them because of it. Because the problem is that when you get, I mean, if you get a good game and one of the big parts of it is playing online, then that's one thing that you're really deprived of. But the other thing I don't like is paying a lot of money for a game that's a piece of crap, and have that empty feeling that you've just wasted your money. Which is another reason why loads of game companies don't provide demos nowadays. If you had a demo for a lot of games, I'm pretty certain lots of folk wouldn't be wasting their money. I mean, I'll tell you, the one game, which, well, it's now 2 games because there's the American truck version, but Euro Truck's the one game, probably over the years I've spent more money on than anything else. I've spent a lot of money in Virtual Pool because I mean, if you include Virtual Pool 3, I think we all have. In Virtual Pool 4, we've been topping up accounts if we've had to. We've renewed our accounts each year or whenever they expire. But the whole point about Virtual Pool 4 is online. The enjoyment's not offline in this bloody game. But there are thousands playing Virtual Pool 4 who will never see online, which is the most annoying thing about it. I'd still be playing, I'll tell you right now, I would still be, my PlayStation 3 is sitting, it's sitting here in front of me under my top part of my desk. It's thick with fag ash because it's not been touched in about 2 years. And the reason it has, well, more than 2 years, I think the last time I went on was just to check how my account was standing on PlayStation. And the worst thing about Gran Turismo, because that was really the main game I played on it, is that every time Gran Turismo goes through a period, you'd Gran Turismo, I think it was 4 and 5 that I had, and eventually they kill the servers. And I think that's the most disgusting thing that a game company can do in order to sell their next game, is kill the bloody servers where people have paid big money for a game. They've met up with their friends online, they've been playing online for months, a couple of years, and then the next thing you know, the email comes through and tells you, we're shutting the servers down. You'll still be able to play the game in offline mode, but you don't have online. And if you want that, you have to buy Gran Turismo 6 and then Gran Turismo 7, and you have to buy a new console. That's the biggest load of crap in marketing that I've ever seen. And that's why after that happened, I said I'm never ever going to spend any money on anything Gran Turismo ever again. There's no way I'd ever buy a console just to be able to play Gran Turismo. And all the guys that I used to play with, they're all gone. They've all gone elsewhere. And that's basically what's happened to Virtual Pool 3. You know, Virtual Pool 3 was on GameSpy. GameSpy's been killed, but Sellers has done nothing, has done absolutely zilch for their loyal customers for Virtual Pool 3, yet they still sell it on the website. And, you know, if Steve turns around and says, well, you can still play online, well, that's crap. You don't have the competition that you do in an online lobby, and you don't have tournaments like you do in an online lobby, and the game's just sitting there when it could have had its own lobby if he had been prepared to make that effort. Well, of course we're talking budget, but I don't really agree with still selling the game. That's my point. But he's then just catering for people who don't play online anyway, just to get another few dollars out of the game. You think about how many people have probably bought that. How many people have maybe stumbled across the Virtual Pool website, and then they go to the store and they see, oh, there's that Virtual Pool 3, that's cheaper than Virtual Pool 4, I'll buy it. And then they find out there's nowhere to play it. Well, Larry seems to have been stuck in 178 for a wee while. Potman's broke the 100. You know, that's one game I've never played, that what is it, Forza Motorsport or whatever it is. I don't know how many Forza games there is, but that's one I've never played. But again, it's a racing game, and I'm pretty much hopeless at them. I know my limitations. Driving trucks is where I'm an expert. If you don't watch any of my streams and see me crashing into various obstacles, but no, racing games, no, that is where I meet my nemesis. Well, at some point, Steve must have thought that when he decided to get Interplay as a publisher for Virtual Pool 3, because obviously Interplay at the time would have been a reasonably decent sized company, because they didn't just publish Virtual Pool games, but they had a budget that at least they broke out a TV commercial for the game. So there was some promotion of it. There was a rumour, Keith, I read again. I can't remember where I read it or where I was rummaging when I found it. There was a rumour I read about that, about Gran Turismo coming to the PC at some point, but I think that is more a dream than a hope. But then again, the same thing would happen to it. You know, after the plan to do something else, they go and kill the servers. That is a nasty tactic, that. So it is. Well, Steve's lucky he's got mugs like us who still love the game, isn't he? Few that we are, we're in the minority, but I think there's a fair few of us who've been playing this game in various formats for over 20 years. That shows you how much I like Eurotruck, because I even pay for mods on Eurotruck. The last map I was doing there was, what was it, the Romania map, and I paid $4 for that. And again, I don't mind doing that if you're getting good quality maps I don't mind paying a modder for something like that, because it's a game that I enjoy. It's a game that I've played for 8 years, and I've got not a problem in giving them their reward for the time and effort that they have to put in to do these bloody mods. I mean, it's not a simple job, and it involves a lot of time. I've watched guys doing map modding online on YouTube, and I mean, it's an awful lot of time to sit and do that, as I'm sure it is for every modder in any sort of game. I'd love to be able to I'd love to be able to create a map mod for Eurotruck. That's something I would love to do, but I just have not got the time to actually look into it all and take all that stuff in. I think I'm well past the age where that would come naturally to me. No, it's far too complicated, but I would love to do it. And when you watch guys making map mods and you look at the bloody menus that they're going through, goodness me, man. I mean, it's just my brain gets sore actually watching them. Well, Larry is creeping ever so close to the end here. Potman still stuck in 105 as he has been for the last 30 minutes, it seems. We are now 2.5 hours into this match, and it's drawing gradually to a close. Potman with his last chance to put some points and respectability onto the score line. I got the original Assetto Corsa, and I thought that drove very well on PC, that game. I thought it was excellent. What was that other one that you used to play, Keith? It's not that one. What was the other one? What the hell was that called? I bet you it's still going, that racing game. Not iRacing, not R Factor. That other one, it's a sort of little known one, but it's one that you used to play. What the hell was that called? I'm pretty certain it was you that told me about it. Aye, that's the one. Aye, Live for Speed, that one. It was actually quite good. It's still going. You see, that's what happens when you've got a little community who are into the game. I mean, that's been going for a good number of years, that game. Well, Potman is only 79 points behind. And I need a cup of coffee. Desperately need a cup of coffee here. I need a caffeine hit. Well, this is giving us an idea of how long these matches are going to take. And that's 2 hours and 35 minutes. But I think if Potman had been making similar contributions to Larry, it would have been over a while ago. What is that, a game? Iron Man Pool? I've never heard of that. You're no getting him a bloody Fanatec, I hope. That'll be like 700 quid's worth. And how the hell's he going to fly a model aeroplane with a steering wheel, Keith? Come on. Get him a remote control. Oh, aye, Daddy gets to keep the nice wheel. The wee boy gets the cheaper one. Daddy, I want a wheel like yours. Aye, you can go and dream, son. You ain't never gonna get near mine. I think Larry's falling asleep here. Larry, wake up if you're listening. Not much far to go. Only 7 more points. You know what Stubb keeps going on about that's a great game? That bloody Need for Speed Online. I played that, it seems like 15 years ago I played that game. And it's been revived and Stubb loves it. I think he's on it with a bloody I think he's using the keyboard. Well, I think he's a bit straight. He's got a slight angle. No, he's alright when you look at it from behind it. Well, this has got to be Potman's last stand. You know what I watched on YouTube the other week there? I watched what was it? Was it the 24 hours of, I think it was the 24 hours of Spa. You know, with the one in Belgium. I love that track. That's a great circuit. One of the best Formula 1 circuits in the world. And I watched the 24 hour, well, I didn't watch the 24 hour race, but I watched the start of the race on a live stream. I mean, of course, the live streams of these guys, they've got commentators and everything. It's bloody, I mean, we're talking about almost broadcast quality. It was excellent. I was well impressed. I think it was, I'm trying to remember what game it was. Was it iRacing? I'm not sure whether it was or it wasn't, but it looked bloody good. Well, I was comparing the other week there when I did that 20 lap race on kart 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 kartcraft, and after I finished it I actually loaded up R Factor 2 and tried the karts on it, and the karts in R Factor 2 are nothing compared to kartcraft. They don't drive anywhere near as good as they do in kartcraft, because again, kart racing in R Factor 2 is like an afterthought, because R Factor 2 is more aimed to the sim racers than it is to kart racing. But whereas kartcraft, that's basically what it's designed for, and it's a much better sim to drive on. Well, Larry is just about to go through to round 3. And it's going to be the one ball by the looks of it. So this for the match. We'll have a quick look at the bracket before we go, guys. So Larry wins the match by 200 points to 122. And what's that there? Oh, right. Let's see where we are. Right, so Mr. Bill set to play Albinario in round 2. Johnny Laris playing McClarkey. Snake Eyes to play Sylvia. And lo and behold, if Sylvia can come through that, guess who she's going to meet? Larry's lying in wait. And well, Potman's got away before his next match, and Keith is set to play Fantastic Mr. Fox. That'll be a good match. Cobra is waiting on an opponent from the LS3 9 Black match, which is going to be played whenever that. Somebody tell me when December the 16th is. What's the day's date? Why is that saying select language there? What the hell's that for? That's the first time I've noticed that. That's something weird that's going on. Are you guys seeing this? Oh, that's Wednesday. That's good, because that is my day off. I've never noticed that in the bottom of the and why does it say that's Google Translate? Anyway, I'm getting distracted by that thing down in the bottom of the screen there, that select language thing, and it seems to be broken. Right, see you later, Keith. Take care. So anyway, that match is going to be Wednesday night at 7 PM. I'll be there for that one. Fast Eddie to play Stub, which I probably won't get. Mark Shark has gone through to round 3 earlier on tonight against Gung Ho, 200 points to 68. And Chico is to play Squirter in the first round if that goes ahead. Sergaresh is lying in wait. And Biggs is to play Bankster in round 2. And Dirty Harry is waiting on the winner of Dirties and Chips Scary, who are set to play. Is that tomorrow at 2 AM? I won't be there for that, I'm afraid, guys. Hazard to play VP Monster. Acero to play Fan Wanwa, whatever he is. And Tommy Yu is waiting to play the winner of SD92 and semi-pro if it goes ahead, and that's tomorrow at 5:30. Well, I'm taking bets it won't go ahead. And Bedheads to play Mooncake, another good tie. Fuldrich has gone through against Chris because that was a forfeit, and that's it. So with that, guys, I am going to head for a coffee break. Thanks for watching if you're still there, and we will be back. Well, we'll certainly be back for Wednesday. Whether we'll be back for anything in between time, I don't know. But until we meet again, take care and stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.